Perfect. Perfect. All right. First, let me make sure that y'all can hear me. I know y'all like, goddamn, I know why y'all taking so long. You know, players fuck up. You always have some technical difficulty to get things ironed out. You know what I'm saying, with the starch. Make sure we good up here. Actually, right here. All right, bet. Welcome to Soft Sports, man. If you're not familiar with Soft Sports is Houston, Texas, Homer Network. We talking all sports, but only H-Town, only Houston, man. Because in reality, That's all that matters. Though. Some of y'all like, well, I'm not from Houston, and I'm a Houston fan. Well, you're probably making other bad life decisions by not moving to the greater Houston area. I'm just trying to give you some advice. But like I said, I'm Ed Honcho, man. We got two gentlemen from the round getting down with us this morning to talk about the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans. Well, Tennessee coming to town. And it's a lot on the line in this game, man. It's a lot on the line, so it's a lot to discuss. We're going to have us a great pregame show. Make sure y'all in the chat, make sure you hit that like button. If you're a hater, hit that dislike button. I don't really care. Just, show some engagement. But like I said, who we got joining us this morning?
What's good, Sauce Nation? It's your boy Spitz. We out here with the North Side Oilers. It's North Side Day. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
It's North Side.
Wasn't know nothing about the North Side. People be like, what the hell is the North Side Oilers? Who else we got joining us this morning, man?
You got It Don't Matter, your boy Wise in the mix. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscription button. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Like I say, man, a lot going on. 2022 going to be a great year, man, and hopefully an improving year for the Texans. But as far as sports fans in the city of Houston, I think it's going to be a great year. So like I said, man, it's a whole lot to talk about. A player fucked up, something we always do, man. Hey, man, shout out your side with pride real quick. Got to get that Sauce Nation roll call. That's the most important thing because, hey, without the freshest ingredients, what is the sauce? I see Houston, Texas talk. Sarah Lou, the lovely Miss Sarah Lou, Infinity Reform Pimp is just Sway, Corey Jackson, Herb Gotti, Frankie in H-Town. Shout out to Frankie in H-Town, man. If you like interesting, intriguing, exciting Instagram stuff, it may not be quite sports related, but definitely try to suggest you give Frankie a follow. Let me see. Alex the Astro. Purple Drink, what's the motherfucking deal? Wink in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? King Jaja, why you be in the Houston sports thing? You a Dallas. You love the Cowboys, you love the Mavs, you owe that last nigga. You know what I'm saying? That last place. That's where y'all at. Let me see. Look, man, if I miss you, I ain't this year. I see Texan Boy, I see, you know what I'm saying, TV in the building. I see Ruben, J Boogie, Trinity Gardens in the building, Zero Tux Given. And JP the Don, man, Jimmy Alford. Like I said, if I miss you, I ain't this. We got a lot to talk about. Rosenberg in the building already. April and Ray. Hello, Ray. Wherever you may be. We are continuously, always plotting on them goats. So keep your guard up, because we gonna snatch with them little baby goats. You can't protect them all the time. All right. Let's get into it, man. Titans, Texans. Me personally, I feel like the Texans and Titans are the real rivalry when you talk about the AFC South, because I think, me personally, I feel like there's the most ties there between, former franchise, just being in the same division, when everything came to be. And then, Tennessee, they kind of stole our style with the scissor and all that. We ain't going to get into that. That's a whole other conversation. This ain't got nothing to do with football. But I always felt like this was the real rivalry when you talk about the AFC South. And Tennessee's coming to town with a chance to be the number one seed in the AFC. And to me, that presents a little bit of a dilemma, right? Do you let your hate for Tennessee override your assets for the future? Spitz, we'll start with you, man. What do you think? What do you do? Are you going for the win today, or are you hoping to think long term and thinking about building a franchise?
No, it's kind of like you're torn between the two because you want to, from just a specific hate rivalry standpoint, you want to spoil the Titans' chance because now that the Chiefs won last night, the Titans have to win. The Titans have no room for any errors. The Titans have to win, or else they'll be going on the road for the playoffs. But then again, you really don't want to fuck up your draft status because as of right now, you said it's the third seed. I think the worst they can get is the fifth seed. I mean, like the fifth spot in the fifth draft pick. So you might well, it's not really that too much of a difference. It might not be that big of a difference from 3 to 5, but the potential of you going from getting either potentially Stingley Jr. or Kyle Hamilton could go down to you being stuck with Evan Neal. Because maybe if the Giants and the Jets both leap in front of you, you will be sitting there at 5, and they both could take the corner and the safety off the board, and now you stuck with Evan Neal instead of getting a franchise-changing safety or a franchise-changing lockdown corner. So I know I am about the secondary, and so I'm definitely leaning towards that situation when it comes to the draft. So it's like you really don't know exactly what you want to do, but damn, it's them damn Titans. And do you really want a team be celebrating getting the first overall seed in your house? Maybe we was in Nashville, it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But you at your house, which technically used to be their house a long time ago,
Mhm.
do you really want them to celebrate getting the first overall seed in the AFC and potentially punching their ticket in to, at the very least, the AFC Championship game, if not Super Bowl, by doing it in the path in Houston? I don't know if you want to do that. So
Okay, damn brave. No, I agree with you, man. Could you imagine? I'm gonna just instill a little feeling in front of in everybody right now. So everybody take a deep breath. Imagine the game ends, the Titans win, and these motherfuckers dancing on the logo in the middle of the field, celebrating. How does that make you feel? How does that? How does that? How does that? What does that feeling feel like? Right? But you still got that feeling for the hope for the future. But wise man, what do you think, man? Do you say, I hate the Titans. Let's upset their hopes. Let's make them have to play extra week in the playoffs, Or do you say, we got to think about our future assets in the long term? We're not going to win no matter what. It's just a moral victory. If we do beat the Titans, it's just a personal thing. Or do you, like I said, do you go with the assets? What decision do you make?
I'm actually torn between this one. I hate the Titans, to be honest. I really hate the Titans.
Yeah.
I hate everything about the Titans. I hate Ryan Tannehill's. I hate Mike Vrabel's, even though I liked Mike Vrabel when he was here.
Yes.
I have respect for Big Henry's, but I hate Big Henry's. I hate Corey Moore. Oh, Corey Moore don't even play for them no more.
Yeah.
But because he played for him, I still hate him.
Yeah. Yes.
I also hate Julio Jones because he decided to sign with him and he hasn't put up the production. I hate the whole defense. Harold Landry III, Rashawn Evans, Jeffrey Simmons, all of them are sorry bastards.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, the fact that they left the city, the fact that we had these beautiful powder blue uniforms. I understand that the city of Houston did not want to give Bud Adams a new stadium, but he should have stayed. He should have saw it through, worked it out, and stayed. But the fact that they left, it don't matter no more. We got the Texans. The Texans haven't did anything since then. I mean, we only got to the second round of the playoffs. Hopefully in the future we're going to be going to the AFC champion. But to be honest, I really just hate the Titans, and I would prefer to see us ruin their day today, actually, after thinking about it, because how would it feel having the Titans lose the number 1 seed in Houston for all the paybacks, all the bad things the Titans have did to us in the past? We're talking about a team that's won a division the last 2 years, so. But at the same time, I want that number 3 pick. My boy Steve Jr., like Smith said, my boy Hamilton gonna be there. But when you think about it, maybe we get a blessing in disguise. Maybe the Giants might win. Maybe the Jets might win today. So if we can get to the number 4 pick with a win and the Titans lose the first number 1 seed, I would be a very happy man. Because you also got to think about it. The Texans do be overthinking in the draft. But we haven't seen what Nick Casario can do in the draft. He hasn't had a first-round pick yet, so I'm going to hold those thoughts for now. But you know what? Like I said, it's basically fuck the Titans. And yeah, I want the Texans to win. Fuck it.
Yes. And I'm kind of in the same boat, man. It's a tough situation. You if you could get the best of both worlds, and it's like somebody brought up in the chat. It's a good point that the Texans, Patriots, what are they likely to do? Trade down. So I mean, even if you do go ahead and upset the Titans, it's the likelihood that you were going to get a lower pick anyway. So fuck it. I don't know. But speaking about, players and some other ties between these two teams, not just, leaving. These are lesser ties. But there's a couple of players on the other side of the ball today that we're very familiar with. And guys that were actually, I would say, liked during their time on the Texans. One of those guys being D'Onta Foreman, right? We were having a discussion last night in the Discord. It was a very good discussion about D'Onta Foreman and the comparison of the running backs, currently on the Houston Texans stable. Wise, we'll start with you, man. Your thoughts on D'Onta Foreman. Were you ever a fan of his when he was here in Houston? And what do you think about what he's got going on in Tennessee right now?
Actually, That was a good conversation yesterday, to be honest. Y'all should join the Discord. Just to plug this in, join the Patreon so you can get in the Discord action.
Yes.
But I did like Deontay Foreman. I like Deontay Foreman coming out of the University of Texas. I kind of followed him because we played against each other in high school when he was at Texas City. This guy broke all type of records at University of Texas. And when the Texans drafted him, and they paired him up with Deshaun Watson, I thought that was going to be our quarterback, running back situation going for the next 10 years. But unfortunately, things didn't pan out that way. We know he got injured on that touchdown when he was having that breakout game against the Cardinals, when he was going to have his first 100-yard rushing game. And then he had other factors like Billy O.B. Billy O.B. didn't agree with a lot of things that Deontay Foreman was doing off the field. Billy O.B. was a egotistic kind of guy. So basically, if you didn't do it his way, it was the highway. And it's very unfortunate that we let a guy like that go. But I think he's been doing good in Tennessee thus far. Like we was discussing last night, he do got a couple of 100-yard games. Him and Hilliard actually are both there, two running backs that we had on our roster, to be honest, and they both making a big impact. And to be honest, Tennessee doesn't even have a great offensive line like that, so it stands out even more to me the fact that he's going out there after an Achilles injury, and being able to bounce back even after being cut by the Titans last season. Now, another factor of the argument that we said last night is, well, we would like to sign him back to the Texans because he's going to be a free agent. And my answer was no, because the Texans is just going to waste his talent all over again.
Okay. Well, let's segue that into Spitz, man. You know, we were talking about Deontay Foreman last night. Your thoughts, would you bring him back? Did you like him when he was actually here as a Texan? And, you know, what he has going on with Tennessee, how do you feel about that?
Okay, hold on. First off, I'm going to say it like this. I agree with Wise. If y'all need to sign to that Patreon and jump into Discord as soon as you can, get your tickets now.
Yes.
Just put it to you like that. Y'all might want to get your tickets now. Just put it to you like that. Now, let's talk about this right here, because as y'all all know, I'm a Texas Tech Red Raider fan. And I seen Deontay Foreman back when he was in UT. And the boy actually broke records against Texas Tech. I think he broke the most rushing yards in UT, in the game for UT against us. Yeah, I think he had over 300 yards that game, if I'm not mistaken. And when the Texans, because he was drafted the same year they drafted Deshaun Watson, the third-round pick. Actually, truth be told, I was more excited when we drafted him. Not because I didn't like Deshaun Watson, because when we traded up to the number 12 pick, I already knew what it was. We were about to draft a quarterback, and Deshaun was the only quarterback on the board. So I was cool I was more relieved when they said Deshaun's name. The thing about Deontay Foreman got passed on 3 times by the Colts, and I really thought the Colts were going to draft Deontay Foreman. The Texans drafted Deontay Foreman. I jumped out of my damn seat. I'm like, all right, cool. We now have gotten our backfield of the future. We have our franchise quarterback and potential franchise running back. Y'all know how me and both Professor Trill was about Lamar Miller. We ain't like him. We knew he ain't had the juice. He ain't had no sauce. No pun intended. And when Deontay Foreman first started running the football in the preseason, I seen the flashes in him. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, he had a little fumbling problem here and there, and I know that is key, that is big. But when he got the opportunity, he made the most out of it. And then this egotistical, self-centered, control freak, and William Bill O'Brien decided to put this motherfucker in the doghouse just because he took a little bit of time to get back from his Achilles injury. I said at the moment when Deontay Foreman got hurt, as soon as I found out that it was an Achilles injury, I was upset, because it is harder to come back from Achilles injury than it is to come from I'd rather you tear your ACL, because it's easier. You come back quicker from an ACL injury than the Achilles injury, especially coming from a running back.
Oh, shit. Well, Spitz disappeared on it, but I agree with him. Like I say, yeah, it's definitely a running back position, man. And Achilles can be detrimental. You've seen it, you know, from the NBA to the NFL. It's just a much more difficult injury to bounce back from. And I don't know, I would say even from my age, when I was, say, in high school to now, how far they've come with like ACLs and shit like that is the knee surgery period is crazy, because you see guys jump back, it seems like in a matter of weeks, as opposed to sometimes that would be damn near a career-ending injury. You know, back in the day, like you tear ACL or MCL or LCL, something like that, it's it. That's it. So it's over for you. But I'll segue that, and like I say, to what he was talking about, because like I say, me personally, I was a fan of Deontay Foreman myself, and I did kind of feel the same way. Hey, you know, you got a quarterback and a running back. I felt like he was a steal when they picked him up, and then again, like I say, for the petty things, you end up in Bill O'Brien's doghouse. We know once you're in the doghouse, it's damn near ain't no getting out, and you know, along with some of the other many bad decisions that he made, you know, releasing Deontay Foreman, I would definitely like to have him. You know, no disrespect to Burkhead or any of them dudes. Well, yes, disrespect to David Johnson because it's been a big ass disappointment. But you know, I'd rather have a guy like Deontay Foreman on here, and him being a free agent next year is what we were talking about. And if y'all don't see the poll in the chat, would you rather have Deontay Foreman over any of the running backs that we currently have on this roster? And again, like I say, Rex has been, you know, showing that he can play well, you know, last couple of weeks, but Rex is an older dude. Let's be honest, he's an older dude, even with the extension, you know.
No disrespect to my boy Rex. No. We're not about to do that. I'm here for all those slackers for my boy Rex Burkhead. We need one white running back on this roster. Y'all, when we first signed him, Waz was like, yes, we got my boy Rex Burkhead. Yeah. Everybody was shitting on me in the Discord. Yeah. Man, why we get a Rex Burkhead? Now look at him. He had 150 yards against the Chargers. Yeah. Made your boy Davis Mims look good. Yeah. So I think we should bring him back for another year, especially because the only other running back we're going to have on our roster going into next season is going to be Scotty Phillips. So you got to kind of mentor Scotty Phillips, and then any other free agent running backs that running backs that we might draft, you'll have him in there to mentor him and stuff like that, bring him into the system because Lord knows we don't even know what type of offensive system the Texans are going to run that season. So, yeah.
Oh, all right, there you go.
Bill O'Brien and Jack Easby kicked me out.
You know what I'm saying?
Look what they did. They took me off.
they hacked the stream, man. But what were you saying? You want to finish that thought?
No, I was just saying that because of that, they ruined what potentially could have been the future quarterback, running back situation. Obviously, we know what the receiver situation was, but just because of his ego, and then because it took longer for Deontay Foreman to come back from the Achilles injury. And then when Deontay Foreman actually did come back, you know, he did come back a little bit late, but when he came back the game against the Eagles, I know he scored a receiving touchdown, but then he wasn't active the last game, and he wasn't active during the playoffs, and then we ended up cutting him. That next offseason after Deontay Foreman thought that him and Bill O'Brien squashed it. I seen an interview about him saying that him and Bill O'Brien had a little meeting, had a little personal meeting. He thought they squashed their situation, but then again, the report was that maybe he was late to a meeting or something like that. And again, and if he was late to a meeting, that really is on him. You gotta know that if you were already in the doghouse with this person, you don't need to be late for work. So if he was late for meetings and things like that, that was him being irresponsible. Now, about the conversation that we had about would you bring Deontay Foreman back, I'm the one that brought it up. I think we should, because he's better than any running back on this damn roster. Like, name a running back on this roster is better than Deontay Foreman right now. Because you see what he's doing in Nashville since Derrick Henry went down. They brought him back. He's had multiple 100-yard games, has multiple touchdown games as well. Deontay Foreman is better than any running back in the Houston Texans, and he hasn't even played a full season. I'm pretty sure he's outrushed everybody already. If I'm not mistaken, I think our leading rusher is still Mark Ingram, and Mark Ingram ain't played since week 7 for the Houston Texans. So,
yeah, that's a sad state of affairs, man. But definitely, that would be something.
It's the worst rushing attack in the NFL. Like, this is the worst rushing attack the Houston Texans have ever had. I mean, we can sit up here and I can make fun of Money City Mafia Mills, whatever case may be. We could talk about Tim Kelly. We talk about all these other things. Probably the worst thing, the situation that's going on in Houston right now, is the running game that nobody's talking about, because this is the worst rushing attack in franchise history. Yeah. It's no excusing. There's no sugarcoating. This is the worst rushing attack we've ever seen in Houston.
And what makes that even worse is to be spending the money you're spending on that running back stable, certain individuals in particular, but and to not get no performance.
You trade first round, you trade potential Hall of Fame receivers, let's say running back, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then y'all may have been hearing, like you've heard these gentlemen say, and y'all seen in the chat. It is a very wise move if you join the Patreon now. Things are going to be changing. Things are going to start shaking. And all I'm going to say is just that you want to be on the ground floor, right? You don't want to have to wait and try to catch the elevator. Anyway, a lot of rumors going on. Oh, my bad. There was another player we got to speak on. A more important player, I think, that has, to me, may have had, not even to me, definitely had more of an impact in his tenure here than I would say Deontay Foreman did. A guy that the Texans had on their roster and basically got nothing for. A guy who has been in the top of the league in tackles for several years. I think a guy that everybody was excited about once he got drafted here. And again, like I said, Texans got nothing for him. And again, he goes to the other side, and now he's in a chance from going from nothing, and he actually won. He's in a chance where he's going from nothing, just another wasted season, to potentially, going to the playoffs with a bye week. And, bye weeks tend to lead to good opportunities to get towards the Super Bowl. I want to know your thoughts on Zach Cunningham, that whole situation, and what do you expect from him today? Do you think that he has a little something on his mind today against the Texans? We'll start with Spitz.
Absolutely. Like, yes, absolutely. He coming in, him and Deontay both gonna come in today with their disdain for this franchise, and they both are gonna come in trying to play they damnedest, especially Zach Cunningham, because Zach Cunningham was trying to get up out of here. He was trying to get the fuck up out of Richmond. Like, he was trying to get out of here. Like he was trying to get out of here. That's the reason why he missed the COVID test and all this stuff. Like, he didn't want no parts of this. He didn't want no parts of the Houston Texans organization anymore. Even though they gave him the bag, he's seen exactly how it was. He wasted his season last year after having leading the league in tackles. Dude, he's been in the league for 4 years. Outside of his rookie year, he's had 100+ tackles every year. His rookie year was the only year he didn't have 100+ tackles between his rookie year and also this year now. And then the reason why is because they kept playing with this man. They kept, and what I mean by that, by not playing them, like they kept benching them and sending them halves and sending them forwards because he beats to the he walks to the beat of his own drum type situation, and he just didn't miss well with this organization and with this plan and with this whole culture thing they got going forward. Like, he had no dealings with that because he just wanted to play football. He might have had some, he might have been a little quirky outside the field. Hey, it is what it is. You're gonna need some people like that. There's people like that. But everybody ain't gonna agree with you how you do things every other day. So because of that, he didn't want no parts of this organization. And they actually did him a solid, truth be told, by cutting him instead of trading him. Now, from a fan standpoint, from us and from an organization standpoint, they damn sure should have traded him because they could have got some form. You trying to sit up and tell me you could get at least a 3rd round pick? You could get a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, was that easy?
Yeah, and I think that valuable. I think they should at least be able to get a 2nd round pick. You tell me you can't get a 3rd round pick from him, but you have to just cut him and get him away for nothing. Come on, man. Like that makes zero sense. That makes 0 sense. That right there just shows you that was nothing but ego and just, I'd rather get rid of you than to get something for you because I don't want to look at you no more. I don't want to look at you no more. Now, like I said, he made the situation worse himself by like missing COVID tests and things like that, but he was doing that on purpose. I actually have no issue with him doing that because I know exactly his end game was to get the fuck up out of here. He was trying to get up out of here.
Yeah.
That's all it was. He was trying to get up out of here.
I agree. Wise man, your thoughts, Zach Cunningham, and how things ended with him in Houston, man, and what do you expect to see from him today, coming and facing his former team?
I don't know, to be honest. With Zach Cunningham, I know that he's gonna fly to the ball. I know that he's gonna always fly to the ball. He's gonna run sideline to sideline. But do we not forget the days Zach Cunningham in pass coverage, looking like lackadaisical, got his hands up like this, getting bunting coverage, dudes snagging on him. Like, I don't forget those days. I don't forget how big of a contract he got. The fact that, yeah, we were switching the team. We had a new defense. Yeah, my bad. Alrighty. So yeah, the fact that the fact that the fact that we just got rid of him for nothing, yeah, I was upset about that. Yeah, we could have got a 5th round pick, 4th round pick, 6th round pick for Zach Cunningham. But at the same time, I mean, you got rid of McKinney, and then Zach Cunningham. You had our defensive coordinator playing him out of position. Remember they tried to play him out of position. So they tried to play him at outside linebacker instead of using him as an inside linebacker, which he has played the majority of his career while he was with the Texans. And then we switched from the 3-4 scheme to more of a 4-3 Tampa 2 scheme. So when we brought in a new defensive coordinator, I was like, man, he might be one of those guys that might be on his way out. Same thing with Justin Reid. These guys are the last of Bill O'Brien guys. So I didn't expect too much for them going forward. Zach Cunningham today, we know that all Texans usually ball out against the Texans. I wouldn't be surprised if he got an interception pick 6. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a fumble return for a touchdown. But to be honest, I have no expectations for him today because in my boat, I liked him when he was here. I liked him when he was coming out of college. But for what he did this all season, he was a sorry bastard. Because right. If we're going to hold Deshaun's to these type of expectation, and we want to call Deshaun out for not being at the practice, for not doing this, not taking the part of the team, not want to do this, we got to do the same thing for Zach Cunningham. Yeah, I know he want to I know he want to be out of here, but you got to show up on time. You got to show up to the meetings. You got an agent. That's why you request a trade. Like you can be more professional about it. So that's why I find that unacceptable. He should be more grateful for the position that he is, because there's other guys on the street that would be willing to play in the NFL at any day. So he a sorry bastard in my eyes.
So you feel like, no issue with wanting to trade, but it's just the way you handle it. Okay. And I'm glad you brought up Jay Reid because I think last week might have been Jay Reid's last game as a Houston Texan. Personally, that's how I feel. I don't know what it is either. I don't know if he's got an injury to COVID protocol or whatever it is today. So he's not going to be playing. And then like last week, he put up this message, you know what I'm saying? Like on his Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. See if I would have it around here somewhere. But I'm on his Instagram and that ain't fucking it. And it was just basically saying, hey, so happy to have been able to play here and, do all this other kind of shit. Like, that nigga was just signing out last week, you know what I mean? So, or maybe, who knows? Who knows what's going on, right? But just out real quick, do you think that this is Justin, or that last week was Justin Reid's last game? What do you think the chances are of him being a Texan next season are? So wise man on that one.
I think it was his last game. We know about the 3rd-round curse. It's been a 3rd-round curse for the last few years since we've been doing this with the Sauce. But to be honest, Justin Reid, he had a rift with the front office. He had a rift with the head coach. It's this whole egotistical thing that we've been having with Bill O'Brien. Like it's that same thing, and they don't want players to speak out against the organization. They don't want the player to speak out against the coach, even if the player is right and making the right assumption about what we should do on the play. Breaking down the film, they don't want to hear a difference of opinion. So with him bringing that difference of opinion, and even though he was a great leader in the locker room, and we cannot forget, Justin Reid did have a lot of injuries. He did play through a lot of injuries. Yes, he did make a lot of great plays for the Texans. But at the end of the day, I think that he's going to get an offer from a team. Maybe, I don't know what team he's going to get an offer from, but it's going to be more than what the Texans is going to offer him. At the end of the day, he's going to be on his way out. And like I said, I really think they have a situation where they're trying to get all the Bill O'Brien guys out of here and move forward with the organization. So I think it was Justin Reid's last game, and I like Justin Reid. Salute to you. You did a lot of great things for the community. Did a lot of great things on the field, and you was a leader for this team. So it's unfortunate that we're going to lose another player like that. But like I said, going forward in his career, I like to see him succeed.
Yeah. Like I say, just as character-wise, no issues with Justin Reid. The injuries were a bit questionable, but there were times that he did make some great plays. So again, like I say, no hard feelings if it is. Like I said, the thing about this game, though, man, is that there are so many ties between the Texans and the Titans. I mean, we just discussed a couple of players. We discussed, the cities. But I want to talk about a particular coach, right? A particular coach who was once a part of the Texans organization, has gone on in shorter time, found more success than, and again, I guess it depends on how you measure success, right? To me, I think that with football, it's the closer you get to the big game. Because, I mean, it's cool. Yeah, you can be dominant in the division for a long time, but what does that really get you? You know, because you can think about it, like even here with the Texans, the times they've won the division and had a team within the division go further in the playoffs than you. You know, so what does winning the division really mean? But I want to know your thoughts on Mike Vrabel. You know what I mean? And my bad. You know what? I didn't even ask you, Spitz, about your thoughts on Justin Reid, did I? I think I skipped over. I just talked about. So my bad. Your thoughts on Justin Reid, and then we'll come back to the question I was just about to ask, man.
Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton.
Oh man, that's
I mean, it is making it more and more apparent that you have to draft Kyle Hamilton with the 3rd overall pick. That's the first I've been saying for the past month. I think he's the best player in the draft, in my personal opinion. And like those type of safeties don't come around ever. I mean, we 6'4" as a safety, 6'5" as a safety, and when Justin Reid one dial back last week against the 49ers, I think it was probably the worst game that Eric Murray has ever played as a Houston Texan, and that's saying a lot because he's played a lot of bad snaps as a Houston Texan. But I think that might have been his worst game. That safety position just looked completely horrible, especially when Reid went down in the game because Reid left the game, if I'm not mistaken. At some point in some part of the game. Now he is in the COVID protocol. I do think he's played his last game. And I'm actually surprised that he ain't played his last game sooner. I thought maybe after he got benched, I thought that was going to be his last game. Like he came back and played. And then maybe it showed like a little flash. It maybe, possibly, maybe just a sliver that they could repair their relationship. I don't think so. Like he basically sent out his whole message on Instagram last week, his goodbyes to the city of Houston, to the fan base of Houston, and it's pretty much like everything across the board. That no one's really mad at the city, nobody's mad at the fans. Everybody's really has their issue with the organization, and like you said, the 3rd round pick curse continues once again. The Reid had talent. I think Reid could have broke that 3rd curse culture. But the organization did wrong around him. They took away a lot of his guys on defense, the Honey Badgers and the JJs and the McKinneys and all these other guys that made his job easier, but they instead made his job harder. And because they made his job harder, he had to do a little bit too much, and it kind of disrupted things. If you go back and look at his rookie year, he made a lot of impactful plays. Probably because that was a good defense. Like I said, you had JJ, you had Clowney, you had McKinney, you had Merciless. You had Honey Badger, you had Kareem, you had JJ, things like that. Like you had guys around him that helped him make his job a little bit easier. He could just react and make impactful plays. Now you take it back to now 2021, where all those guys are gone, and he's the only thing that's left. So now he has to do a little bit more. He can't just sit back and play the place in the field, and he can't sit back and just make impactful plays like the Washington play. We made the pick six. Or the play when Baker Mayfield throws what should have been a touchdown and he pushes the ball out the last second entering the goal line. Things like that. You don't have those type of plays anymore because he's doing too much. He's the focal point of the defense. So it's just put him in a bad situation. And I think he's going to do better things on another team in a more of an impact. He's going to be a more impactful player on a better team and obviously a better defense going forward.
All right. And like I said, I definitely agree. I think he's a guy that can really contribute to a good defense if all the pressure's not being put on him. Because we saw all that, man. Justin Reid's made a lot of clutch plays over the years, if you really think about it. But like I said,
against Jacksonville, when he stops Leonard Fournette on the goal line, what they do, going 2-point conversion, he's the one to make that play.
Yeah.
I was at that game, and I remember when he had that 100-yarder against the Redskins.
Yeah, that was like
interception return his rookie season.
Like I say, that Reid's made some plays, and I say, my thoughts about when you have, champion DNA, I guess you could call it, or professional bloodlines, with your brother already being in the league, you have advantages. When people like those people whose dads are in the league, uncle in the league, something like that, that gives people certain advantage. And I think, Reid was able to benefit off a little bit of that. I still think he has some room for growth. I think he will get better. I think you just got to be in an organization that can nurture that growth. And right now, with all the turmoil that's going on with the Texans, there's no way they can really nurture the needs of some of these younger players because everybody seems to be kind of on eggshells and things like that. But even with the coach staff, we're gonna bring that up in a second. But I want to talk about what I was saying earlier about Vrabel. You know, I want to know your thoughts. We'll start with Spitz on this one. Your thoughts about Mike Vrabel, what he did here, and then what he's been able to do in Tennessee.
The year that he was, I feel like he was a good linebacker coach. The year he was DC, that's the year that everybody got hurt. Like he lost JJ with the fibula. You lost Whitney Merciless with a torn pec. You lost Christian what's his name? The dude the DN from Rice Cunningham, not Cunningham. Forgot what his name is, but he tore his pec too, if I'm not mistaken. Like you lost a lot of players on defense that year. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the most players in Houston history that they lost to on IR.
Yeah.
He dealt with a lot. He dealt with a lot of injuries that season, so his defense is a little bit overwhelmed and undermanned. But as we seen we seen what he's doing in Nashville. I mean, like you say, he's gone on to do things better than Bill O'Brien. He took a team to the AFC Championship game. I think he has no losing seasons like Bill O'Brien. He's already won the second division title. He's been to an AFC Championship game. He's won playoff games so that he gets into the playoffs. Something that Bill O'Brien didn't do.
Yeah.
Like Bill O'Brien, it took Bill O'Brien a while to win a playoff game, and then when he finally did, he still crapped on his pants, up 24-0. That's a conversation for another day. He shows you that he's more of a coach.
Yeah.
He has more coaching ability, and people want to play for him. People ain't want to play for Bill O'Brien. Like whether that's apparent. As much as people talk about now, people don't want to play for Bill O'Brien. But people want to play for Vrabel. That's something. The Titans have no problem. I don't think the Titans have any problem getting free agents. People want to play him now. I know in football games, people want to come.
Yeah.
But people have no problem playing for Vrabel. And that's one of the most important things when it comes to coaching. Do your team want to play for you? When those guys go out there on their field and they battle, do they want to battle for themselves? Do they want to battle for their teammates? Do they want to battle for the city that's across their jersey chest? Or do they want to battle for their head coach? Because if they want to battle for their head coach, they will run through a brick wall for their head coach. You got players.
Yeah.
You got point blank period. You got when you got a lot of people out there who want to play for themselves, who want to get their stats, who want to get their money. You have Antonio Brown situation. But if somebody want to play for their head coach, they're gonna run through a brick wall.
Yeah.
And that's something that Vrabel has definitely done. As many injuries that the Titans have had this season, I think they've played the most players ever in NFL history. They've had the most active players ever in NFL history because of the injuries, coaching situation, all the other tools going around the season. But they right now, they are win away the number one seed in the AFC. That's because those guys want to play for that man.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Vrabel, Wise?
Just to expand on what Spitz said, he's the type of coach that had a lot of respect in the locker room by the players. The reason why I think so is because he was an ex-player for himself, playing with the Patriots. And so a lot of guys can relate to a guy like that, a guy that had the experience, especially a guy that went through a rigorous program like the Patriots where they don't play that shit. And basically, hey, you got to be on meetings on time. You got to be a leader in the locker room. And this is a guy that won multiple Super Bowls. So just that experience by itself, a lot of young players can attach to Mike Vrabel, especially a linebacker, because he was a linebacker, and learn from him. And so I think that's why a lot of players try to gravitate to Mike Vrabel. And honestly, I thought the Texans, when they promoted him to defensive coordinator, even though he had all of those injuries, I thought that they were going to groom him to be our next head coach. But they decided to extend Bill O'Brien. So I was pretty shocked when that came. I know I talked about that many years ago. I wanted Mike Vrabel to be the head coach going forward. I thought that, like I said, he can relate to the players. He can bring a new identity in here. And he don't play that shit. He's going to bring a new culture in here. Guys going to run through a wall for him. Guys going to put they all on the field for him. And so it's very upsetting that we let a guy like that just walk away from this coaching staff. But he's not the only name that left from this coaching staff. There's plenty of coaches that you look back and like, hey, I didn't even know this guy was on the Texans coaching staff, and now he's a head coach somewhere. So it's very unfortunate that he had to go to one of our rivals. It's very unfortunate that they have had plenty of success, but it's not a surprise to me because I thought this was going to happen with Mike Vrabel. And I'm proud of him, and I hope that they continue to have the success, and hopefully the Texans can start having an eye and stop letting some of these coaches, some of these scouts, some of these general managers just leave out without giving them the true opportunity and chance to develop their players and develop their staff and things of that sort. Because he was, just to bring this up real fast, is we brought in Brian Gaine during that regime too, and he didn't even get a full year as general manager. That's very unfortunate. So I think you got to give guys a little bit more time. But hey, I'm not an owner, NFL owner. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's getting close to that time, so I'm gonna make sure we handle a couple of things that we do around here. Some of y'all may or may not know a little thing we do on this show called Mark My Motherfucking Words. That means you got to make a bold statement on today's game. You got to put a bold prediction out there. You know, like I said, it doesn't always have to be something outrageous, but it can be like, oh, Mills is gonna go for 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 123 yards. That's not bold. That's a lame ass prediction. You got to put your name on it. You got to, you know what I say, mark your motherfucking words. And then we're going to go ahead and combine them, and we're going to get a score prediction. So drop those in the chat if you want your Mark My Motherfucking Words to be seen. Use the hashtag MMMFW so that way it can be easy to read, try to catch it. But what we'll do is start Spitz, man. Your Mark My Motherfucking Words for this Texans-Titans game today.
So, Money Mills Mafia.
Uh-oh.
I want to tell you,
No.
I'm a proud Mark Carey member.
Mm.
And I think that the Millster, the Trillless Mills of the Trill, will throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Mark my motherfucking words.
Okay. Wise man. Oh, what's your score prediction there, Spitz?
28-24 Texans.
28-24 Texans. Wise man. You mark my motherfucking words. Score prediction. What you got for me?
Mark my motherfucking words. The Texans defense create 3 turnovers today. And one of those turnovers will go for a score. My score prediction will be the Texans 17, the Titans 14.
Okay. 17-14. All right. I got quite a few in the chat. Let me see what we're looking like. I ain't probably gonna have time to drop them. But here's my deal. All right, first I got a big announcement to make. And that announcement is now I am joining Team Mills. Mills is the future. Mills is the legacy for the Houston Texans. And if you ain't Team Mills, you ain't Team Trills. Mills is it. Island Boy Mills is the new wave. I'm trying to tell y'all, I've seen something. I've seen the light, right? I've seen the light. Mills is the future. Okay, so y'all can't say I was hating on him when this boy take off, because I seen the light. Y'all might not have peeped, but I've seen something in Money Mills. He is the future. My motherfucking words. Whew. Like I said, it's a game where you just don't know what you want to know. You know, it can go either way. I think it's a win-win. I don't know if it's a win if the Titans get the bye. I mean, I guess it's a win-win. But I'm going to go with, I think that Money Mills, yes, Money Mills, not General, the Money Man. Money Mills will go off for 3 touchdowns. That's in the air. 1 rushing touchdown. He's going to show y'all why he's faster than Deshaun Watson. And I think that he gives you, I'm going to say just under, I'm going to say about 330 in there. I don't think he's going to just go off like that. But ultimately, I see the Texans losing this game 38-28. No fault of Davis Mills. And I'm sorry. I'm going to call it 35. Because my guy Rex got to get him one. Rex going to be down on the ground tonight. All right, so a couple of things going on, man, real quick before we wrap it up. You know, and everybody get ready to the game. All I'm going to say is this. drip. That's all I'm going to say. Don't trip if you don't catch the drip. We've been telling y'all for a long time, lots of things going on in the sauce, lots of stuff that we've been working on, that this is going to be a much better year. We've been informing you, hey, I suggest that you join the Patreon at what it is now, because soon it will be limited and the price may go up, right? Things are changing, one small step at a time, one drip at a time. So, with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the post game. If you are in the Discord already, we may have a special announcement during the game. We'll have to talk about it. Maybe we'll decide. Maybe we'll have a halftime announcement if you are currently in the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? So that way, a little something special for the supporters. But with that being said, gentlemen, y'all got anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
Might cost you a little, might cost you a lot. It's gonna cost you.
I just want to say, hit the like button, hit the subscription button, join the Patreon, and Waterfall Drip.
Yes. But with that being said, hey.
Like they say,
Drip, drip, drip. With that being said, man, hey, don't meet us there. Beat us there. If you're in the Discord, let's go ahead and chop it up. You know how we're going to do with that. And if you want to be a part of the Discord, my suggestion is to use the Patreon, patreon.com/saucesports. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, man. Y'all just got to tune in. And again, like I say, it's 2022 is going to be a good year. But with that being said, shit, we out. We gone. Adios.